collateral damage, but I'ma pay homage. I remember listening to music when I was in college. Even when I was young, I was always seeking the knowledge, daydreaming of my wife's thighs, cause I love the fraudage. No cap, I'ma always keep it solid. Niggas asking me for crypto even though I lost my wallet. My clients, schizophrenic and psychotic. That's why my relationship with them is symbiotic. Nas said he remains flyest in the fat canias. I don't know what that means, but I pray to the most highest.
We must pay homage to him.
You know you're breaking my heart.
Yo, the manifesto, peep the manifesto. I'm flying on a plane from the north to archipelago. Your life's were bought in gold, even though it's hot and cold.
I hope so.
What's going on, everybody? It's your host. How you been? Chilling? Let's get right into it. So, sometimes, it's been a while since, no, let me just take this back. It hasn't been a while. Sometimes people just don't like maybe to be proven wrong, which I understand, but many people just can't handle the truth. They just can't. And with everything that's going on with this nondescript L1 that I keep talking about, that I've been talking about for a very long time, too long, I might add, it's astounding and it's amazing to me when you hear things like, yo, stop lying, stop pretending, stop trying to be an expert, who you fooling, things of that nature. Why are you negative? Why are you crying, right? It's beyond that at this point. Because when you hear people tell you these things after displaying detailed, cold hard, factual information that's been delivered to the world by a certain individual, and you raise questions by giving that information back and saying, what is this? This is what you've been doing. This is what you've been talking about. This is what you've said. And now you're doing something different. And you show the examples over a period of time. And people see that as you acting like you're an expert. It has nothing to do with acting like you're an expert. It has everything to do with posing questions. But see, people don't want to see others do well. People don't want to see you and I become successful in life, much less than on a blockchain. You understand? And when over time it becomes clearer and clearer and clearer when you step away and you come back and you're witnessing the same nonsense that you saw when you left continue. It shows you something. That just tells you it's another example of the truth shining through to let you know, oh no, see, this is a huge problem that's taking place. You could blame, in a sense where you talk about crypto, you talk about an entire market, right? The entire market, oh, it's down, everything is bearish across the board, right? That's understandable. But when a chain has been bearish during a bear market, during something that seemed like it was a bull market. I mean, if you look at the price of Bitcoin today versus what it was 2 years ago, yeah, you could say Bitcoin's gone through somewhat of a bull market. That's not being an expert. That's just being practical. That's being regular. That's just, it's evident, it's clear. And then you're watching a chain that was launched in a bear coexist and go through Bitcoin's bull. Other chains have done fairly well as too during Bitcoin's bull market moves, but your nondescript fork of Ethereum continues to remain down and down and down. Hasn't had its bear yet. I'm sorry, hasn't had its bull market run yet. After hearing for years propaganda about how the founder just figured it all out, and you watching the performance of this fork of Ethereum that's headed by the founder, and you can't question anything because what? You can't question why things are the way they are, not just about price being down and to the right, but you can't question the contradictions. You can't question the hypocrisy. You can't question the flip-flopping that's occurred. Not by the actions of believers or investors or non-participants, market players. No, but by the head of the whole situation. If you ask a question, you're like, oh, but why are you crying? Come on, bro. These people are ridiculous. It's about making money, right? It's about getting to a bag and just having an overall good experience, because this is what's been afforded. You mean to tell me one chain, I don't know about any other chain in crypto that's had what you all call the best, closest form of regulatory clarity because of the case that they had with SEC and beating the SEC. Y'all said that this whole thing was created precedent for people to have become closer and understand in a clearer sense how they could use crypto and not have any type of regulatory blowback. This fork of Ethereum was supposed to be, right? No securities. They're not securities, right? After Bitcoin, you know, the closest thing to anything that I've heard, and across the board, not just from one side, crypto people saying, you know, oh no, you know, there's no jurisdiction, you know, there's nothing centralized with it. It's not about the crypto argument. It's about the regulatory bodies that fought, right? That fought to say, hey, wait a minute, what's going on over here? You misappropriated funds. We're chasing you. We're going after you. And dude claps back, wins the case, So this L1 is supposed to be the closest thing, I guess, to something decentralized, or you cannot interfere as far as this whatever middleman regulatory body and overarching reach from these oligarchs can't do anything about it to stop it because they lost the clearest thing, closest thing to what I guess this idea and philosophy about what crypto is supposed to be, and these prices and numbers and the behaviors of these people. And when I say these people, I'm talking about the founder and his minions perform what you see take place on the chain. And I get it. The whole market is down. I get that. But when your founder puts a screenshot like he's consistently done about the prices of his core tokens, when you see a 2 to 3 day quote unquote pump in his operations, let's say 25 to 30% average increase pump, that's supposed to be like something like, I guess he wants the world to see how legit, how great things are going. Oh, cool. He'll put a screenshot on Twitter and tell you how cool things are. Oh, it's pumping and this and that. And soon after he puts these screenshots up, guess what happens? As soon as he makes those posts, you can guarantee in 24 hours from those posts, those same coins that he's talking to you and showing the world that are pumping, people are dumping them. That's been the trend. That's been the practice. That's been what's been occurring on the chain. That has nothing to do with being a crypto expert and pretending. That has everything to do with holding up a mirror, not only in identifying contradictions and problems stemming from the behaviors and the words and the mixed messaging from a founder, but it's also showing, identifying, again, trends and patterns from actions and behaviors of people even on the market and how they respond, how they're responding when you posting a 30% such and such increase, 4 coins. Yeah, they're up average of 20, 30%. Oh, it's great. But you're not going to post the 30% decrease. No, you're not going to do that because it's about marketing. It's about bringing more eyes, right? Trying to bring attention. The negative will scare. The positive will excite. Well, I want to see green candles to get people. Meanwhile, like 30% in crypto is an insult. 30% you winning, you. But why is that something that should be praised? Is because for the past 2+ years, everything has been down. And to the right, not up and to the right. It's been down. But when you say these things, people don't accept it. They think you're being, I don't know, like what? Evil, and you have like nefarious intentions and bad intentions. No, it's the furthest thing from the truth. Furthest thing from what's real. I'm not gonna pretend and talk about we're one day closer to the next, this and that, and this and that. Been saying it long enough. Right now it's about, to me, and what I've said a long time ago. And it's just showing, like, it's one thing to say people are greedy and selfish. That will always be there. That'll always be there. But when you're watching something happen after the founder does one thing and you see something else occur, I mean, I all I'm inclined to believe is that people just don't like this guy. Majority of the world don't know who he is. And the small amount of people in crypto, relatively speaking, that do know about everything going on in this situation, they're not fond of him either. They don't care about holding a token and staking a token for 15 years anymore. That's not something that's really championed or herald. That's not something that people really speak about heavily. And no, that's not. Those days of old, those days have come and gone. Not holding on and then staking just for the sake of staking and locking and this and that. No, people are holding to dump, because that's what many people did from the beginning. But the first two to 3 years, the message of the existence of that coin and that community, the first 2 to 3 years was the whole messaging was, oh, yo, 10,000x, 10,000x, this 1,000x. If you were staking, you saw 20,000x, this and that. Oh no, stake till you make it. Stake. But how do you turn people into millionaires? They had to sell. And what did they sell? They sold their liquid holdings, which is what it is. People emergency end staked their locked holdings to dump so that they can experience life-changing wealth. It's what they did, and it's not necessarily a bad thing or even wrong. It has nothing to do with being an expert. It has nothing to do with being a liar. It has nothing to do with being negative. It's just what it is, right? And then you wait 22 months or so, 2 years for a chain to launch that you should have had no expectations for, after you spent all this money, donated all this money, and just do it in a year, ether, have no expectations for it, with the idea that, this event that was going to occur was going to introduce the largest free airdrop in the world, that the largest amount of people in the world do not know about, will never really know about, nor do they care, it seems, because it's been over 2 years since this whole thing has happened, and we don't hear and have seen any type of huge press on the internet about this. The most press that that's been said is, okay, someone's been sued by the SEC. Okay, someone's been sued by Interpol. Okay, this person beat the SEC, and it's still been prices down and to the right. Because when you talk about decentralization, too, there's another problem. These are things that just has nothing to do with an expert. It has everything to do with a person who's trying to learn. Being told that someone is here to save you. Save from what? So you're going to learn to hear about what you're being saved from, right? You hear about decentralization, no middlemen, right? No admin keys, where's the code, etc., etc., etc. And then when you're watching a situation take place that's being controlled, the majority of a situation that's being controlled by one entity that no one wants to claim, but someone's in control of it, it raises even more questions. And people want to also sprinkle in the whole term of transparency. Meanwhile, you're dealing with foolishness with the words and semantics, because all you're here for is to learn how to make some more money in something that might appear to be or perceived to be in a seamless way. And you got to deal with shenanigans. When the clapback that you see taking place, and I call it clapback, the constant dumping, that's just a form of clapbacking, like in a sense where, oh, you have X amount of coins because you got in early, or you got in, not only did you get in early, you might not have gotten early, let's say, but you got in heavy enough to have a huge position in a situation. And if you're not no longer fond of what's been taking place, you're no longer fond of what's been taking place by the founder, how the founder's carrying himself, and because this is the problem. You can't separate the founder from the situation. You can't do it. You tried, but you can't do it. When you take onus at some point, right? Like openly declare, listen, this is what's going on, that and this, that hasn't been done yet to an extent. But we understand the person who holds the majority of control is a person who calls the shots. And when that person has garnered disdain and developed, and the people who's supposed to buy into whatever that one person is selling, develop acrimonious energy, negative energy, animosity towards the founder, what do you think you're going to see on these charts? People are going to clap back. They're going to clap back in their own way and say, you know what? F this dude and F this situation. But guess what? I'm going to make money off this situation too. That's going to be my way to revolt against the stupidity. And it doesn't even have to be public. You see, it doesn't even have to be displayed on Twitter, on the internet, in any shape, form, or fashion. It doesn't have to be on a YouTube. It doesn't have to be on a Spaces. You see it on the chain. This guy will tell you about blockchain and speech. Oh, it is speech, all right. There's a lot of speaking going on the chain. For sure. For sure. And you see the speaking taking place to this day. You know? Who in their right mind, who's been around in this community for X amount of years, who in their right mind would want to see, and who's supposed to be like, you know, you want to see the best for yourself and everyone involved? Who would support you losing, having a bad experience, just getting wrecked? If you really are a good person and you really trying to make an effort to, you know, to win in a positive and fair way, not in a way that's harmful. Why would you want to lose, or why would you want to see others wrecked and lose for the sake of what? Pleasing your own ego and saying you were right, giving yourself a false pat on the back? But that's what you find here. The nature and the energy of some of these people are so fake and so false, so backwards. It's disgusting. That's why when it's all said and done, it's you versus everybody. It's you versus everybody in this crypto thing, and especially in that L1 game, in that fork of Ethereum, especially there. Like, you really don't think there's anything friendly about this situation. That's why people click up. That's why you have bands or groups and people getting together to, you know, make moves, make anything happen. At some point, it's all about survival. It's all about survival. Because it's beyond, there's levels. You can see there's levels to what's going on here. You know, if I'm telling you, with the remaining time that exists right here for a bull market, for this whatever bull market, the remaining time, like towards the end of this year, I would say, if nothing materializes for that L1 on a positive, then hold on to your seats for that extended bear, the extended bear market. Extended. I'm talking about, right? Something like, and then that's not a good statistic to put on a board for somebody to claim glory, for someone who's seeking glory. That's not a victory. That's not a W. That is not a win. It's just simply not. That's just an opportunity for those who want to believe and understand market behavior, blah, blah, blah. And if you still believe in this thing, to just stick it out, right? Those who've locked coins for 15 plus years, what choice you got? If you believe in this thing, you stick it out. But for the person who was talking about they're in it to make a million millionaires and they're in it for glory, this is not a victorious win. If this thing, towards the end, from now to the next very few months, this thing doesn't turn around anytime soon to show you some type of multiples of multiple X's, It's not a win. Because as of right now, there is no winning taking place for dude. Except for the fact that you won a court case with the SEC. Again. That should have sent ripples through the entire industry. In my opinion. Oh, you got this one situation here that beat the SEC. Crypto's supposed to be for the people. Why hasn't the entire crypto community, but I understand tribalism. I understand groups. I understand these things, right? Cult mentality and all that. But in general, people should have just learned about, oh, wow, what's going on here? This is the chain. Oh, the SEC went after them and the SEC lost. Oh, wow, what's taking place here? Oh, they say this is supposed to set precedent. Everybody talk about precedent. Oh, this is new, unheard of. Wow, oh, wow. All across the board, oh, they couldn't go after him, but they did, and they lost. Go check out what's going on the chain. Where's the wave and waves and waves of money pouring into the... You don't see it. You see the opposite. Waves and waves of money pouring out of the situation. It's backwards. Completely backwards. Because why? I'm telling you, and it's simple, and folks just don't like to hear truth. How are you going to say you like a person, you like a situation, you favor somebody, and this is the stuff you got, you see the person going through and going on and supposed to be winning, and you still like, nah. And I'm talking about his peers. Look at his peers. What they, forget about the community. Forget about the whatever thousands of people that want to buy into the core coins, and his own peers don't mess with him like that. Not publicly, at least. So you're setting yourself up for what? To hopefully think and believe that some shipping containers is going to produce green candles for you. Like, folks have to really wake up, man. Shipping containers. Back in the days, in the 80s, kids used to win a prize or get a prize from a cereal box. After buying something, a little cereal, a little Lucky Charm, some Frosted Flakes, you would get a wrapped toy, a little toy in some kind of clear wrapping paper. Cereal box. Cracker Jack box. Remember Cracker Jack? So y'all exclaiming to me about some shipping containers because, he said under 2 months, and that falls into August of when you're supposed to see something happen. And voila, green candles would do it. I'll let y'all figure it out, man. I'll let y'all figure it out, man. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Take care.